Now, in this video we are going to explain how to draw the graph. I go to graph. First I have to put the data. I open data, then I'll go to desktop, then Excel, go here to Excel, the file of type, and then I'll go to desktop. I select the file I need, which is this one, MHO. This is the data. We can open it, and then we can say OK. Now, the data, we import the data from Excel file, and then we can draw the graph. How to draw the graph? To draw the graph, I go to Graph, Legacy Dialog, and then to draw box plot. Click on box plot, simple, defined, summarize for the group cases, and here we can add right, for example, variable, and then as a variable, and then gender as categories, axis, and then I press OK. So what we have here, we get the graph plot, box plot from the data we have, and here we can say simple explanation. Here, this line here, the mean. If the mean in the middle, let me just clarify this one. If the mean in the middle, the mean here in the middle, we can say this is the data here. Then we can draw the graph, legacy, box plot, simple, defined. This is right already, and this is gender. Click OK. So here we can say, if this is the mean, this is the line, is the mean, this is the mean. If the mean in the middle, it means that the data is normally distributed. But if there is near to the, this is the male, this is the female, which is almost near to the top, which is negatively skewed to the left, and both of them skewed to the left. The second part here, we can say, okay, histogram. To draw histogram, how to draw histogram? I go to graphs, legacy, and then go to histogram, go down, histogram, and right here, put here right, for example, variable, and check the normal curve. This is the curve, display normal curve. This will check here, just tick display normal curve, and then press OK. What we have here, this is the histogram. I use the analysis. We want to see another way of drawing histogram, graph. I go to analyze, and then go to descriptive statistic, and then go to frequency, and select the variable SPSS, which is social economic, and then go to chart histogram. Okay, click here, and this is, leave it as it is, and then continue, press OK, and here you can see analysis, descriptive statistic, and histogram. So we have to go to statistic, okay, analysis, frequency, statistic, percentile, range, okay, chart, histogram, continue, okay, this is histogram, and then as you can see, the other part here we are going to discuss central of tendency. In the previous data we show how many males and females were, and we mentioned that the frequency count is for most interesting thing for the high data. Instead we want to calculate things like mean, standard deviation, determine what is the average height is and how spread that height around that average. So these called a center of tendency and measures of variability. Central of tendency, collectively called statistical descriptive, because it can describe what these numbers look like. Let us start. Remember, this gender looks like female, and female is actually number. Let me type the data here. Just I go to file, new data, file, new data, and then here we can put the variable name is gender and height. Gender, second, height, and then we'll go to the data variable. We can add here, say height 66, 67, 70, 74, 63, 67, 77, and so on. Gender, we have to go back to the variable view, and here gender, and then we'll go to value. You can say 1 for female, add 2 for male, add, and then go back here, okay, because here I have to put it measure is nominal. Now numerical string, okay, gender, okay. Now we type the data, gender 1, 2. If we click here, we can see male, female, female, male, female, male, male, and female. Then we can now draw the descriptive, do the analysis. So what we have to do, we have this data set up. Now we can do the analysis. How? I go to analyze, and then descriptive statistic, then descriptive, then we can add now your gender and height. Let me say for gender first, both of them, gender and height, option, okay, straight, okay, this is sum, okay, continuous, okay, this is here, gender, as you can see, gender 7 number and height 7, gender minimum 1, and height, you can see it's maximum set 7, and so on. So here we can see the mean, and the mean 1.43, so you cannot use 1.3 from this outcome. Of course, we cannot see how many of these them are there. We have 10 height, sorry, we have 7 height score. The minimum is 63 and the maximum is 77 inches. The average of The average is 69.14 inches. How spread our score around the mean? Let us show you something else. How I go to analyze. I go to analyze, descriptive statistic, descriptive, and then I see the little box. Just click that and here, and then we can say okay. Now we can see the same outcome getting from description. I get exactly the same as the previous table, but if you go to the spreadsheet, you can see available appeared here called Z height. If you just minimize this, and you can see here Z height, and there are Z score. Here Z score. It says how many standardized unit away from the mean. So a negative score, as you can see here, there is negative and positive. A negative score is a little bit below the average. Positive score is a little bit above the average. This is a quick way to get Z score in SPSS. Now, let me show you something else. Try to get descriptive statistic for gender. How? I go to analyze and descriptive statistic, then descriptive, and then click OK for gender. Then click OK. What we have here, as you can see, here only for gender, which is 1.4, and the table telling us that the number is 7, and the minimum is 1, the maximum is 2, with the mean and the standard deviation, and the average score is 1.4. Well, I do not really think in calculating average and standard deviation, which is not appropriate here, because this value is nominal. If one present male and two represent, if one represent male and two represent female, what does it mean? What does mean the average 1.4? I don't want to think about that. Let us do another kind of analysis instead. I think more about the height of male against the height of female. Instead of separating male and female, can SPSS give us all the height of male and female? So to do this, I go to analyze here, and then compare mean, and then select mean, and press OK. Just put gender here and height. Okay, so here we can say option. Okay, just click OK, and here you can see the mean of gender 1.3, the mean of the height is number 7, 7, and so on. So here we have to specify the dependent and independent variable into the box in the right hand side, as height is the dependent variable, as we can see here. Height is the dependent variable, and here independent variable, as height is the dependent variable and gender to the independent variable. Then we can click OK. So we can see that the mean of female 171 and the mean of male 66.6, number 4 and 3, and the standard deviation 5.3 and 3.5. And here we can use OK. Now, thank you very much for being with me for a long time.